so short compared to you. We look like a circus act. We literally do. Like it's disturbing.
You're the bearded lady.
Ew.
All right.
I'm gonna stand on my tiptoes.
Today might be the scariest day of my life. What is up, you guys? It is Stu here, and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be an in-depth color tutorial on our girl Jessi here, because you know it's that time of year that the seasons start changing. It's summertime and Jessi starts changing her hair. She's like a leaf. She's
Happens once a month.
It goes brown, it blooms again. Usually she goes brown, but today we are switching it up and doing a full color transformation, a color Jessi's never done, something you've never seen before on any of our channels, I don't think.
No,
right?
Only Kira's done it.
We are taking Jessi red.
Look at this before. Beautiful.
But it's not going to be like a ginger red. It's going to be like really pretty, like her base is basically going to be red, and then she's going to have like golden highlights throughout. And it's going to be more like balayage and towards the end. It's like, I feel like strawberry blonde and just very pretty.
Let's hope.
That's what I'm hoping. I don't do a lot of reds, but
Hopefully, I'm trusting the key.
Alright guys, starting off this process, we are going to be putting in Jessi's extensions first. So we are doing one row, maybe a row and a mini row of Cozy Loves. Since we're going for like a really warm golden strawberry blonde, the first color we have is the Beckham, which is a beautiful red color. Little description is going to be pumpkin spice, and I feel like it's very fitting. I feel like it's got like very fall vibes. The next one's going to be the Gin, which is a strawberry blonde that's really cute. And I haven't used this color a ton, so I'm excited to use it. So it's the dimensional, like golden strawberry kind of honeyish blonde. And the last one is going to be the Diana, which is a golden blonde altogether. So this is going to give us lighter pop. The red's going to give us a little bit of depth, and then this is going to be giving us kind of like strawberry warm tones, but also a little bit of depth within that as well. And I'm going to start off by doing her extensions first, so I can see kind of how all the colors blend together, because whenever you're doing an extension color combo that you haven't ever done before, I think it's really important to do that because it makes it a little bit easier on yourself. So I'm going to throw these in, see how the color flows, and color around it to match it. Let's do it. Alright, so we've got the first row installed. We were going to do a row and a mini row, but I actually didn't have enough hair because since we use the Cozy Weft, they lay so flat, as you can see. She has, I don't even know, 6 layers of individual cozies that we cut to fit this row perfectly. And so, as you can see, this is already such a beautiful color, like the pops of red, the golden highlights. I think I'm gonna actually go through, root this, add some depth in there, some like red highlights to match the darker pieces in this, and then we can just tone her dropouts. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out. That's so pretty, and it's flat. So this is the row, and then we'll do the color, throw in some tapes, lift her up. Since you're back, we haven't been like coloring like in the back, there's like a little bit of depth in there. Okay. A few darker pieces, and it kind of, obviously the tones don't match. I feel like I don't even have to break it up that much in the back. And I hope you guys on the camera can see that too. The sides we need to focus on because it's a lot more solid up here. Break it up to match this dimension. Easy breezy. Let's mix up a low light. All right, let's mix up a red low light. Why did I wear white today? All right, you guys, so now it's time to mix up Jessi's low light. Whenever I was looking at the color, the Beckham, it is actually kind of like between like a level 7 and 8, I feel. And I want to make sure, since her hair is blonde and super porous, we don't go too dark. So what I'm going to be using is Redken Shades EQ as our low light. I'm using 9AA and a little dash of 8C just to give it the tiniest bit of depth. And I feel like it's going to turn out more between a 7 and an 8 rather than an 8 and a 9. And I'm also going to be pairing that with 10 volume. Just any 10 volume will do, just to ensure longevity with this color, because I don't want it to fade after like the first wash. So my base is basically going to be the 9AA. I'm just going to be doing about 3/4 of that, and then a good little dollop, about half of 1/4, I feel like, of 8C. And then equal parts with the 10 volume. So it's like blood. Blood. Perfect. Alright, let's get the pocket started. Alright guys, everything that's up under this first horseshoe, I'm not gonna worry about low lighting just because she does have a lot of kind of like natural low lights or leftover color in between those. That's already gonna give me enough depth, and I don't wanna darken these too much where it looks like a shadow box. I'm gonna be focusing first on top of her horseshoe here in the back. And as far as my sectioning goes, I'm not doing anything fancy at all. I have it right behind her ear, carved off of her natural part, everything in the front like that. And as far as this low light pattern goes, I'm not going to be doing anything too fancy either. I'm just going to go through and brick lay low lights in here with that formula we just mixed up. And for these low lights, I am going to do something. I know I preach like small sections, but whenever you're wanting to add in contrast to the hair, I feel like I just dip a little bit more with my weave, and it makes my section like a little bit more like hardy and kind of gives you like a little bit more meat, if that makes sense. And I'm not doing my stitches so back to back because we're just wanting to add in a little bit of depth. So this is going to give us like really natural dimension to match the little pattern of what her extensions lay in. And we're gonna go through, saturate everything from her regrowth and her mids and ends, making sure everything is nice and saturated so there aren't any like weird, I'll call them like cheetah spots, because it kind of just looks like it's almost like the same pattern of a cheetah. And there's like little hollow spots of hair that hasn't been saturated. And as I'm going up and bricklaying, my little bricklay patterns to the left and to the right are going to be on an angle just so it works with the curvature of her head. And we're still going through, doing a little bit of a deeper weave that's broken up. I actually even want it deeper than that. Holding really good tension with our foil so we know it's really nice and tight. Kind of doing little X patterns where it'll break up the hair and kind of open it up so we know we have an even saturation. We're taking these guys all the way through her ends on these low lights. Whenever it comes to adding depth into the hair, there's a few things you want to consider. The thicker their hair is, the more low lights you're actually going to need to be adding in, but the finer your hair is whenever it comes to your client, you want to make sure that you're not doing too much where it doesn't darken and go a little bit darker than what you're expecting or what your goal is for your client. The reason I like to work on bricklay patterns whenever I am doing low lights or adding depth into someone is because I feel like it just always looks a little bit more natural. It's not too uniformed. If I was just going straight up one side and straight up the other, I feel like that almost looks a little bit too blended and not like as natural as it would as working on angles and bricklay patterns. Alright, I'm gonna leave this top section her natural because I kind of want this to be like a little highlighted section for her. Moving on to the front, what I'm gonna be doing is going through, but I'm leaving a lot of this around her hairline out just so it feels a little bit brighter there. But I'm gonna go in right above her ear and throw in one more of those little low light guys. And then I'm gonna bounce up to above where her like extension hair connects. Add one in right here. But I'm leaving out her little face framing pieces right here because we can just root those and tone them down at the bowl really nice and golden and give her a money piece without having to lighten her hair since she's gonna wanna change this so soon. We don't have to put lightener on her hair now and then when she's wanting to go back blonde. And I've got everything right here from where we sectioned in the back to where her hairline is. And then that little money piece pop kind of out. I'm gonna work on the curvature of her head and work my way back on a slight diagonal, adding in those low lights. And the way I'm thinking about this, you guys, everywhere where you're foiling, we are adding in our depth, and then all of these dropouts, we're gonna tone to match the highlight in this. And now we're just gonna move to the other side, and we are going to continue that same foil placement, still just adding in those low lights. Something that's also really nice about this, since we're adding in our depth with our low lights, we don't have to worry about going back through or like filling the hair first. Red is kind of considered an underlying pigment, so it is like a filler shade. So all we gotta do is slap this red on, and it is going to do its job without having to worry about filling the hair when going darker. Now I'm just going through with my last foil, and the good thing about processes like this is she just has to sit for about 25 minutes, and we are good to rinse, root, and tone those dropouts. So even though we're doing like a full transformation, it should be pretty quick. Up here at the top, I kind of still have that little bit of dropout right here, just connecting all of those, but I don't want it to be kind of like a patch of things that don't have depth. So I'm gonna take my two sections, convert them together, clean up the sectioning, and add in one more low light right here. One more foil. Hey Siri, set a timer for 25 minutes.
Woo!
All right, so Jessi is now processed. It's been 25 minutes. And now I'm going in, mixing up her root. I'm gonna do the same thing, adding in those red tones, the 98A, a little bit of 8C. But if you saw the last time I did Jessi's hair when we took her brunette, you know that her hair is a natural level 8, and it doesn't like to take shades like on her actual natural hair. So what we're gonna go through and do is add in a lot of depth with a little bit of 6WG, a splash of 7CB, and just a tiny bit of 6CB. And adding in these warm tones should be able to kind of like penetrate her actual like natural regrowth, just so it doesn't look, it almost looks whenever we do it, just hollow, and I hate that. But thinking that these are all just red and gold tones, I think it'll actually work. And we're gonna kick it up a little bit with 10 volume to give it a little bit more power, and we'll let that sit for like 15 minutes probably before we go through and tone her dropouts. I'll meet you at the bowl. All right guys, look at this. This is before we rinse, and I feel like it's going to match perfect. I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna wash her one time, making sure we're avoiding a clarifying shampoo just so it doesn't strip out this low light. We're gonna use 7 Seconds by Unite, wash her up one good time, and then we'll start the fun part, which is toning. All right, all you cool cats and kittens, I'm about to tone her. We let her root sit for 25 minutes, which is the full processing time for Shadesy Q. Now we're going in with 9NW with a dash of 8WG. The reasoning being, we want these highlights to be super pretty and golden and nice and warm. A beautiful, lustrous, warm tone. We're gonna be saturating this on her real hair and rubbing it through her extensions just at the very end, just so they get a little bit of that. The reason we added in a little bit of 8WG is because whenever you're trying to tone someone who's super ashy warm, sometimes it doesn't take. So doing a little dash of a level lower, which we did, is going to give it the little kick that it needs whenever it comes to toning. Her root looks like it took pretty dang good too, which I'm really excited about because shades usually doesn't take on Jessi's hair since it is so light. I think it's just not pigmented enough because her hair almost doesn't have any pigment since she is like a level 8. She's basically got gray hair. So the truth would be told at the grand reveal at the end how it looks. And so now all we have to do is tone this thing up, and then we'll throw in some tape-ins because one row just won't do it for her. We'll be ready to rumble. Let's not forget those little under the neck hairs. And to have an ashy blonde shadow box. Oh yeah, baby.
So excited.
Honey, who knew you were such a sexy ginger? She's red. We went to the shampoo bowl, washed her like you saw, and then now we're going in with Olaplex number 8. And this is going to be giving her treatment on her mids to ends, but also it's gonna be a barrier because I don't want any of this red root to transfer any further down than I want it to, and it's gonna be sitting a while. So that way, and like obviously Shades Q is like really liquidy. So this is gonna be a protectant, so we don't have any transfer, but also, homegirl's gonna be getting a treatment. We need to start treating it now for when we take it back blonde in a week.
Shut up.
Are you over me saying that?
Yes.
I'm really happy with the way it's turned out so far. I'm just gonna make sure everything is nice and just evenly distributed. It's a hard word for me, distributed. By going through and just brushing it all together. So now we're going through with that formula you saw us mix up before we went to the bowl. All those yummy red tones. Dude, this is perfect. I've done it again. And we're going to be applying this on her root, basically as if it was a base color for her. So we're taking really small sections, kind of treating this root smudge as a root retouch. I want to make sure every little hair gets coated, every little hair gets touched. And then this is going to give her the appearance that she is a natural redhead and just has little pops of blonde highlights by richening up her base with this red color. And I know this is another part that can be a little bit scary, but you want to make sure you're actually going through and adding in that product on every section. I feel like I see a lot of people, especially who like start off assisting or have questions about roots not taking, and it's because they aren't really going through the small sections, applying the product where you get an even saturation. And as scary as this looks, it's gonna be so good if it actually takes on her hair. And now I'm just gonna go through with that little metal bristle brush. This is the multi-use brush by Jessi Stylez Co. You can get it on our website from the link in my description. And I'm just gonna be blending it in so it doesn't have any harsh lines. Look how pretty that already looks. Actually, we're really excited about the turnout of this. As far as the back goes, I'm just dragging it down a little bit to where, I'll show you in this section actually. Her regrowth is to about right here, and then that's where the little like lowlights we added in. We want to blend those in, so I'm just taking it down about half an inch past that, so just about an inch total. We're gonna do the same thing to the front, but closer to her face we get. We're not gonna be dragging it down as far. So as I'm going through, I'm just be working on little angles like this, dragging it further down here to match the back. And as I'm working my way to the front, not as much. So I'm just wrapping up this section, going through and blending it together with that same comb. And then I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, and I'll meet you guys in the front so we can do her hairline. Back here at the front, and we're going to do these little guys. Please do not have TikTok go off. I'm gonna start at the bottom and just tap, holding these guys with tension just so they're not in the way. Go through with this red formula and tap more here, just so it has a brighter appearance around her face. Look straight for me too, because I don't want you to, just don't want it to drippity doo-dah. Don't be afraid to boss your clients around. The good thing about this too, you guys, we don't have to worry about filling her hair once again, because the red tones are going to act as our filler. And then also she has a lot of buildup of makeup and spray tan on her hairline. I hope you can pick it up on camera where it's orange, and that's also gonna help fill her hair. Not really, but it's just funny.
Oh my girls understand.
Boom, tap this guy out. Blend it in just a little bit. Almost like I'm drawing little C's when I'm doing this. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right guys, we are doing her finishing touches with her tape ins, popping them in. The colors we're using again is Collie, the Diana, and the Beckham. And I think it matches perfect. I'm so glad we went with a level like 8, 9 low light because it did go like a tiny bit darker, but it is literally perfect. And I'm just bricklaying all these guys so they blend perfectly. And if I say perfect again, I hope you guys get the idea that I'm so happy that this turned out perfect. Something else we are doing is, or honestly, I don't know if I'm more proud of this hair color or if I'm more proud of the fact that I didn't get one drop of red on my white shirt.
Oh, that's an accomplishment.
It actually is. We got Mickey Mouse in the background, but this is a real life, so.
It's true. Mom
good.
life.
Hashtag Gunko life. You want to tell them how much hair?
How much hair?
We've had it. Alright guys, check out this after. I say it turned out perfect and I didn't even stain my shirt in the process of doing this color. If you like this color, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Do all the little things that YouTubers tell you to do because it really helps us out. Now do your thing.